It's your girl Shauna J. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So appreciate you guys stopping by. Okay, so we are gonna continue on with our little series that we have going on, where we talk about fragrances that are relatively cheap. Everything on this list is gonna be under $25. I'm gonna give you guys the links to all these fragrances, and if I don't have the link, I'll let you know where you could purchase all these fragrances. Now, I did part 1 a week ago, and I'm sorry to be so late with part 2, but I actually have to re-record this video. This is kind of like my third time. The first time, I just didn't like the vibe. The second time, my lash was all crooked, and it made me look like really weird. And you know, halfway through editing the video, I could not even look at myself. I was like, nah. One lash could ruin a whole video. And it's not the first time that has happened to me, where I'm looking at my lash and I'm like, I cannot put this out. Like, it's too bad. You know what I'm saying? So I had to re-record. Okay, so this is my third try. I'm just hoping that I'm satisfied with whatever I see, or whatever nonsense I catch while I'm editing. I hope I learn not to pay so much freaking attention. So I know you guys enjoyed part 1, and I also enjoyed part 1. In part 1, we spoke about clean, fresh florals. We spoke about soapy fragrances that were more like musky and skin-like. You know that vibe. Like, they definitely give daytime vibe. Now, I wanted to do part 2, as you guys know, but I wanted to make these fragrances a little bit more on the sweet side, maybe have some gourmand nuances, something like that. These fragrances are going to be a little bit more appropriate for evening wear or nighttime, or you know, if we're having a random very cool day, or you could just wear these throughout the day. I don't know where you're going to wear these fragrances. I don't know, I'm blabbering. Anyway, guys, let's jump into these fragrances. Okay, guys, so the first fragrance that I'm going to introduce to you guys is actually an introduction, because I've never spoken about this one here on my channel, because it's very new to my collection. All right, now the fragrance that I'm talking about here is Velvet Pomegranate, and it is from the house of Banana Republic. Whenever I go to Burlington, I'm not gonna lie, I'm always seeking out Banana Republic fragrances. They're super duper inexpensive, and they're just usually nice. They're usually very safe. What I'm gonna also mention is the price difference. This fragrance is $20 in Burlington. Always, all these fragrances, all these Banana Republic fragrances are $20. But when you go online, for some reason, they're like $70, $80. Not sure what is going on. I'm not sure why it's like that, but that's the reason why I never link these fragrances in my description box, because it makes no sense. So for those of you guys who may have an interest in this fragrance, just gonna have to go out to Burlington and hope that you get lucky. Now let's jump right into the description of the fragrance. Velvet Pomegranate is categorized as a floral fruity fragrance. It opens up with notes of rhubarb, pear, pomegranate, and Calabrian bergamot. In the heart, we have tuberose, orange blossom, and Egyptian jasmine. And in the base, we have musk, bourbon vanilla, and Indonesian patchouli leaf. Now, let's spray this out and let's talk about this fragrance, all right? So right away, as soon as I spray this out, I get like a sweet red fruity type scent, which I can imagine is coming from the pomegranate. The pomegranate here is it feels a little bit candied, not overly candied, but there's a candy-ish vibe to the pomegranate. Under that sweet candied pomegranate, I'm definitely picking up on the tuberose, giving the fragrance that classic fruity floral vibe. It does stay like that for a while, until a couple of minutes in, you really start to pick up on that patchouli. So if you don't like patchouli, if you're like me and you are not into patchouli, this is not going to be for you, because the patchouli is definitely there. If you have no problems with patchouli, if you like a sweet, red, candied, fruity type of scent with a lot of like clean florals surrounding that, then you will probably like this. The performance of this one is quite decent. I would say that it's probably my most long-lasting Banana Republic fragrance. They're not really known for long-lasting fragrances, but because of that patchouli, it kind of extends the life of this fragrance, so it does linger for a long time, and you'll be able to smell this on you. So you don't need to like go overboard when you're spraying this one on, because it really does have presence. All right, so that's all I have for this fragrance. This is Velvet Pomegranate from the House of Banana Republic. Up next is a fragrance from a rapper. He goes by the name Nelly. Every time I experience a fragrance from Nelly, I always find it so amusing. His fragrances are usually very nice and they're super feminine. The first fragrance that he came out, I still have it in my collection. It's actually one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. Not just celebrity scent. I'm talking about like in general. Like I really like it. It's like an apple jasmine scent. It has some green nuances. Like it's really nice. A little bit old school. I think a lot of people would like describe that as a little bit old school-ish, but I really like it. Now when I saw this one, Blue Sexy, I didn't have anything to go off of because I didn't see any notes or anything like that, but I think a lot of time has passed and I found a website here and they gave us some notes, so I'm gonna read the notes to you guys. It opens up with crisp apple and peach. In the heart we have jasmine and rose petals. And in the base, we have warm vanilla and sensual musk. As soon as I smelled this, I thought, wow, this really smells familiar. And as I'm wearing the fragrance, I'm like, I know what this smells like. It smells identical to Amber Romance by Victoria's Secret. This is just in perfume form. It smells just like that. For those of you guys who don't know what Amber Romance smells like, it's like an ambery scent with some fruity nuances. It's quite musky and powdery, very warm. And this has the same scent. Like it just really smells like that. So if you know what Amber Romance smells like, you know what this smells like, okay? Now the lasting power is moderate. On some days it's kind of weird because some days I wear this and it lingers, like I really could smell it, and then there's some days where I have to tap up, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But it's a very inexpensive fragrance, and I think for the price point it's really nice. And if you like Amber Romance, then you'll definitely like this set for sure. Okay, this is Apple Bottoms, and according to Nelly, this is Blue Sexy. All right. Up next is a fragrance that I'm super happy to talk about, because for a while I had to stop talking about this fragrance because they had taken it off the market. You could only find the body mist, so I had stopped talking about it. But now that it's back and they did not adjust the price, the bottle looks different, but the price point is just where it was before it went missing. Okay, so the fragrance that I'm talking about here is, my bottle is a little beat up, okay, so don't talk about me. It's called Mamore and it's from the brand Xoxo. This is a fragrance that I really like, and I think the reason why I love it so much is because it reminds me of a girl that I used to work with, and she was just so sweet. And one day I smelled this on her. She had never worn this perfume to work, so when I smelled it in the air, I didn't know it was her, and it kept driving me crazy. And every time I would walk by her cubicle, I would smell it, and I was like, is that you smelling like that? And she was like, what are you smelling? I said, something sweet. And I said, it smells mad good. She took out the body mist version to this scent and showed me that it was this. Now, I was lucky enough to pick up this one in Perfumania a good couple of years ago. She told me about this scent, and that's where I had gotten my bottle. This doesn't have the typical pyramid that we are used to. You know how a lot of times you go on fragrance because they have top, middle, and base notes. Here they just laid out the notes for whatever reason. Now this fragrance is a floral fruity gourmand scent. It has notes of sugar, raspberry, vanilla, orange oil, amber, plum, pink jasmine, white wood, and musk. This fragrance for sure reminds me a bit of pink sugar, especially on the dry down. Now the biggest differences with this fragrance are that, well, first of all, it doesn't have licorice in there, so it doesn't have that burnt sugar note in there, which I know puts off a lot of people. It, you know, it always amazes me. I'm always curious as to why the perfumer did put that note in there. Like, what was he trying, or what was she trying to achieve by putting that licorice or that burnt note in there, which is so off-putting to a lot of people, including myself. So if you like pink sugar but you are turned off by that licorice note, you may like this one. If you like everything else about pink sugar, the way it's sweet and fruity and cotton candy-ish and vanillic, then you'll for sure like this one. Another difference with this is that the fruity aspect of this is way more strong. That raspberry pulls to the front, and the raspberry here is very candied. So this is like a raspberry pink sugar, all right? It's really nice. It's so good, especially on the dry down. It's sweet, it's yummy, and I think like it would be very, very pretty around springtime when it's cool but not too cold, so it's not gonna cancel out the sugary notes in here. It's really gonna explode on your skin, and I think it's gonna smell amazing. Now the lasting power is like, it's good, all right? If you spray this on clothes, if you give yourself a good couple of sprays, then you know you're gonna smell good, sweet, delicious for the whole day. But you know, that's just me. I don't like my fragrances to be overpowering. I like to get little wafts here and there. The other day I wore this, and while I was like driving in my car and stuff like that, like I wasn't smelling it, but then I went into Dollar Tree, and as I was like walking down the aisles and like going into little corners to like shop, I could smell it on me. So it's that kind of fragrance, you know. And I even thought it wasn't me at first. I was like, wow, somebody smells good. It kind of smells like pink sugar, and I didn't realize it was me because it kind of like floats around me, you know. So I really like this one. Really, really nice scent. Okay, this is Mamore by Xoxo. Speaking of pink sugar, I have another fragrance here that I would love to add to this list, because I think if you are a gourmand lover, this will actually be quite perfect for you. Now the scent that I'm talking about here is a flanker to the original pink sugar fragrance. This one is called Pink Sugar Red Velvet. I love the idea of this fragrance, and let me tell you guys, I had misplaced this fragrance. I was about to replace it because sometimes that happens to me where I have a perfume and then all of a sudden it disappears and then it reappears, and then I'm super excited, and then it feels like a brand new perfume again. I keep wearing it, which is kind of like the case with this fragrance. Ever since I found it, I'm just like holding on to it because I'm like, oh my god, where have you been? Yeah, I really like the way this smells. Pink Sugar Red Velvet is a floral fruity gourmand scent. It launched back in 2021. It opens up with the notes of strawberry and bergamot. In the heart we have sweet notes, orange blossom, violet, and lily. And in the base we have whipped cream, vanilla, and embretellide. Never heard of that, but okay. This fragrance is very reminiscent of the original Pink Sugar, but there are some clear differences here. I don't know if the name Red Velvet is really suitable because I don't get red velvet, and I'm not really sure, in all honesty, if I know what red velvet smells like. Like red velvet cake, like, does it have like a very distinct scent? I mean, I know it tastes good, but I've never stopped to think of what red velvet smells like. What I get more than anything else is like a strawberry pound cake kind of scent. It has like a pound cakey, strawberry-like type scent. So I'm getting more of that, right? It would have made way more sense to call this Pink Sugar Strawberry Pound Cake. It's really delicious, guys. Like, it's really sweet. It's really delicious. I kind of want to smell like that right now. It's good. The strawberry is really pronounced, and I like the fact that it smells warm and sweet, much like the type of ooey gooiness that you will find in the middle of a pastry. Now, what I also find very special about this is that I'm not picking up on that licorice note, okay? This is just like Pink Sugar without the licorice, but then they added in a little bit of like strawberry pound cakes. I think they tried very hard with this scent. I think they wanted it to smell really good because it does smell good. You have to kind of be strategic with this one because it does respond better to heat, which is why I actually wanted to put it on this list. But like I said, when you're wearing this one, be a bit strategic. Put it in your warm spot, so when your body begins to warm up, then you know you're gonna definitely smell this fragrance. Okay, this is a Pink Sugar Red Velvet. Up next we have yet another Pink Sugar flanker. All right, and I hope y'all don't mind, but I wanted to showcase these Pink Sugar flankers because I think they're actually perfect for this type of lineup that we are doing today. Now, the fragrance that I'm talking about here is called Pink Flower. Now, this one came out a good while ago. It came out, I'm about to tell y'all when, but I know it came out a good while. And I've had this one in my collection for a minute. And I held on to it because I kind of struggled with this perfume. And I'm kind of glad that I held on to it because now that my nose and my taste has matured a bit, or maybe I'm a bit more open-minded, I'm kind of like feeling the scent. This fragrance opens up with notes of raspberry, black pepper, mandarin orange, and orange. In the heart, we have white flowers, rose, and jasmine sambac. And in the base, we have patchouli and vanilla. Right away, when I spray this fragrance, I get the raspberry. It's a bit sweet and it's a bit tart, definitely not overly sweet. There's a clean freshness to this scent because we have some clean florals in there. I do like that combination. Another note that sticks out a lot in this fragrance is the patchouli. And that's kind of what had put me off a good couple of years ago. I'm not gonna lie, I still wish it wasn't there because it is apparent in this scent. But for some reason, when I'm wearing this scent, it feels tolerable to me. I find myself still spraying this one on because there's something just so nice and feminine about it. Not super unique or anything like that, but it just feels comfortable to wear. It's pretty, it's light, it's airy, and I could see people telling you that you smell nice when you wear this fragrance. It smells nothing like the original Pink Sugar. There's not much of a gourmand aspect to this scent. It leans rather more like a fruity floral scent. Here they say it is a chypre floral, which kind of makes sense to me. Every now and then, it kind of puts me in the mind of fragrances like La Vie Belle. So it does have the same sort of scent profile. But of course, this is way more different. This is not sweet and syrupy and thick and heavy. And it's definitely not as patchouli heavy as La Vie Belle. It's almost like a family member to that scent. You could tell that they're related, but they have many differences. It's almost as though you have La Vie Belle, but it is stripped of all the sweet, syrupy, sugary notes. They added more flowers in here. They took out some of the patchouli. They gave it like this airiness about it. That's kind of like the best way for me to describe the scent, to give you guys an idea of what to expect from this fragrance. If you're one of those girlies that like to wear perfume to work, but you don't necessarily like to wear the traditional sort of clean, fresh fragrances to work, I could see you getting away with this one. No one will be bothered by this scent. It's not a strong scent, which is also why I recommend this one for like the workplace, or if you work just in a professional environment or something like that. It may not, bother anyone. Okay, the next fragrance that I have on this list is actually a celebrity scent. I have really fallen for this fragrance over the years. This is Heat by Beyonce. Heat is an amber vanilla fragrance. It launched back in 2010. It opens up with notes of peach, orchid, magnolia, and neroli. And in the middle, we have almonds, macarons, musk, and honeysuckle. In the base, we have amber, tonka bean, and sequoia. When I just got this fragrance, when I just added this fragrance to my list, I just, I didn't hate it, but I had given it a very bad review. And even though my opinion on this fragrance hasn't completely changed, a lot of my opinion has changed. And I'm going to tell you why. This is a very fruity scent, but there's a dark, syrupy fruitiness to this scent. It also feels a bit boozy, and I like that. So for the first half of this scent, that's what you're gonna get, like this sweet, dark, fruity, boozy scent. Now the quality of the top notes I'm not happy about, because if I'm being completely honest, every now and then, at least in the top phase of this fragrance, I think to myself, now Beyonce, you're dead wrong. You could have spent a little bit more money and time on the top notes, because sometimes it pulls a little bit like cheap smelling, okay? And that was the issue that I had with this fragrance. But once it passes that phase, it gets way better. It's just a beautiful, beautiful scent. It's just a shame that the opening is going to be off-putting to some people. But I promise if you give it a chance to warm on the skin, to bloom a little bit, it's going to transform into a beautiful, beautiful scent. Under that sweet, dark, fruity, boozy scent emerges this beautiful soapiness. Like, I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what's giving it that scent, but it's definitely there, and I'm here for it, okay? Because it's like this beautiful combination of sweet, dark, boozy, fruity, and like clean and soapy. The longer you have this on, the better it becomes. It's long lasting, and it's one of those perfumes when you're wearing it, you definitely could smell it. It wears much to me like a nighttime perfume, but you could definitely wear this one like in the daytime, because like I said, you know, it leans very sweet, dark, boozy, but clean, fresh, soapy at the same time. I think it's really, really nice. I really like this one. All right, this is Heat by Beyonce. Up next is a fragrance from the house of Guess, and yeah, this is yet another flanker to the original Guess Seductive fragrance. This one is called Guess Seductive Red. Seductive Red is a fruity floral gourmand scent. It opens up with notes of cherry, almonds, and pink pepper. In the heart we have cherry blossom, violet, and magnolia. In the base we have vanilla, tonka bean, and sandalwood. This fragrance is led by that cherry, okay? And right behind it, at least for the first couple of seconds, that almond. I mean, the opening for this fragrance is everything. The opening is absolutely intoxicating. That combination of that sweet maraschino type cherry scent mixed in with the almonds is just beautiful. Once the fragrance starts to progress a bit, it really smells quite similar to Cloud by Ariana Grande. So it does have that sort of scent profile. So it does have the same woodiness and muskiness and just the same character as Cloud, but where Cloud has that coconut and the whipped cream, this comes in with the cherry and the almond. So they kind of switch places, but they both work. Of course, I prefer this scent because of the cherry. Makes it a little bit more playful, a little more flirty, and just a little bit more youthful, and just, you know, just a little bit more easygoing. I don't know if I already said that, but you know, I like that. It's perfect for evening wear. It's perfect if you're going out on a date, if you're going out with your girls. It's just one of those fragrances I see us wearing when we're all dressed up. It doesn't really pull super casual, but it absolutely can. It's a very versatile scent. You could literally wear this whenever, wherever you want to wear this one. All right, the lasting power is actually decent. It's one of those fragrances that when I put it on, I smell it. It's not super strong, but then again, I always say it, I'm a light sprayer. Like, when I'm wearing fragrances, I'm one of those people that I spray lightly. If I have to go back in and respray, then no problem. But I've had bad experiences with perfume where I overspray, and I almost always regret when I overspray because I become overwhelmed, and then the fragrance becomes cloying, or it gives me a headache or some crap like that. So I prefer to be safe, and I like to just get little wafts here and there. I just think it makes the fragrance feel better than when it's like constantly in my nose. I know not a lot of people feel that way, but you know, we're all different. But do your boo. It's a cheap fragrance, so you know, you're gonna be able to spray as you like. All right, if you watch this video to the end, show me some love. Put some emojis in the comments, put a hi, put a hey, put a wave, anything, because when you interact with the video, oh, and don't forget to like. When you interact with the video, it helps me out, and I know y'all love me, I know y'all care for me, I know y'all support me, I know y'all really appreciate when I bring these videos. So show me that you could get this video, and I'm gonna be super ambitious to 1,000 likes. I mean, why not? I know more than 1,000 people are gonna watch this video, so I don't see why not. Anyway, guys, so that's it for me. I'll see y'all in my next upload. Bye.